Welcome back to Black Renaissance. I want to welcome my next guest, a sports journalist, Merlin Edwards III. Welcome, Merlin.
Thank you.
So good to have you on the show. Now, you are a sports journalist working with Section 925. That's a sports blog that I had a chance to check out online. Very interesting blog, great content on there. You're doing a lot of blogging right now about the Raiders. So talk to me about that. They just had a good one. I mean, they've had a few wins here. It's been a surprisingly good start for the Raiders this season.
Well, yeah, going 3-1 to start the season isn't something that we've had in a long time. Since about 2002 when they went to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
And they've missed the playoffs every year since then. So it's definitely an exciting time for the Raiders coming up.
Absolutely. And they've been winning. They haven't always been clean, beautiful wins. They've been a little messy here and there, but a win is a win, right?
Well, as Al Davis would say, just win, baby. So as long as they get the win, it doesn't matter how it happens.
What do you see? I mean, you know, the Raiders have some of the best fans, arguably in the world. Okay, definitely in the Bay Area, some of the most rabid, passionate fans. What do you see their season looking like this upcoming season?
Well, I do think that they have a chance to make the playoffs for the first time since 2002. I think with the up-and-comers that they have, Khalil Mack on the defensive side and Derek Carr on the offensive side, with Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper and the plethora of offensive weapons that they have, I think that they have a really good chance of making the playoffs, especially because some other teams in the division are a little down. Denver has some quarterback troubles, but their defense is really good, so that's going to be the biggest test for them. But I do believe, especially with the win over the Ravens this past weekend, that's going to be helpful in the wild card race later on in the season.
Absolutely. And I think Raiders fans are just praying. I mean, it's like, you know, come on. They didn't throw on the bone. They deserve it. They're such good fans, always loyal, right? We also got the Warriors going, and, you know, we're not quite into the season yet, coming toward the end of October here, but we saw that preseason game in Canada and, you know, bench players out there. But what are we going to see once the season gets started? This new lineup with KD and all the All-Stars from last year. What's it going to look like? Are they going to be able to gel?
Yeah, I think so. I think Kevin Durant has the personality of a person that's not necessarily really me first. So he's going to be able to mesh with the other guys, Clay and Steph and Draymond, and the main guys they got. But they also got some pickups with Zaza Pachulia and David West and JaVale McGee to help bolster the bench that they lost with getting Kevin Durant. So I do believe that they're going to mesh pretty well. It may take a couple games. I don't believe that they're going to end up winning 73 games like they did last year, but the main thing is to win the championship. So as long as they get in the playoffs and make a run and win that championship, then that's all that matters.
That's what's going to be key. Do you think the pressure is going to get to them? Because there are a lot of expectations on this team now with Kevin Durant.
There is, but when you're a professional athlete at the level that these guys are, you welcome that pressure. And it makes you play better. So I think that with Steph Curry and the personalities that they have, they're definitely going to be able to get over that pressure and be the villain if they need to be, or be the team that everyone loves how they have been in the past. So whatever they need to do, they're going to do it in order to win.
Absolutely. Now, are we going to see a winning team like we did last year? They just destroyed all season long, couldn't quite bring it home at the end of the season, you know, once the finals came around. But, you know, they had that epic season, you know, setting a record there with the number of wins. Think we'll see that again?
I don't, but that's okay. It's hard to win 73 games just seeing as no one's ever done it before. So that expanded a lot of energy that may have been able to be used in the playoffs that they didn't get to. So definitely the ability to take some games off, I would say, in the regular season will help in the playoffs, and their energy and being able to be focused and win that finals, and probably against the Cavs again.
Absolutely. They'll have learned something from last season, I think, and going through that historic winning season. Now, talk to me. You were an athlete yourself, and you're transitioning over to journalism now. So what was that transition like?
Well, playing sports my whole life. I know that that's what I want to do. So going into journalism is a good outlet for me because I can stay around the games that I played. And also I can use my writing skills to not necessarily talk my friends' ears off. And I can get all of my thoughts out on paper. And it's also nice to get recognition and have people read your things and react to them. So it's definitely a transition from going to playing sports to watching them and talking about them, but it's a transition that's going well, and I think that it'll end up being very successful.
Fantastic. And you're sort of hoping to continue with Section 925 and continue pushing it. I would think the Bay Area, doing sports journalism in the Bay Area, I mean, it's ripe. We've got so many teams, world-class teams, professional teams out here. Yeah. It's got to be a fantastic, that's a great job.
Well, especially now. I mean, 10 years ago, maybe not when the Warriors
were
bad and the Raiders were bad. But it's a good time to be. Exactly.
Good time to be transitioning in. Okay, all right. Well, we love to see some of your work, and I enjoyed reading about some of the stuff that you're doing right now. What are you looking forward to covering? Is it the upcoming Warriors season? Is it NFL and the Raiders? What's the big story coming?
A lot of it. I do a weekly Raiders article, basically a post-game of the previous week and then a preview for the next week. So that usually goes up on Friday or Saturday. But I definitely look forward to writing bi-weekly or so Warriors articles as well once that season gets going. Once I start to see a little bit more in preseason and get a little bit more commentary from players and things like that, I'll be able to move into it.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. For more information, you can log on to section925.com. That's section925.com. That does it for us in Black Renaissance. We'll see you back here next month.